I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And in this video, we're going to be talking to you about he came back after years. What does he want from me? You guys don't understand, because we're on the other side of this. We see people come back after years all the time. Probably on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe not a call every week, probably. But certainly I get email coachings and stuff like that. So when you're going through the breakup, you're convinced you're never going to hear from your ex. Then you go in no contact. Hopefully you're doing the work. And you find out Craig was right, Victoria was right, Margaret was right. They came back. People, when they form a strong bond with you, they really don't want to let it go. It's very painful. It's very difficult to let it go. And while we know everybody attaches differently and is impacted by their connections or ability to do a connection and their mental health, people come back after years. And we're not telling you to put your life on hold for years. We're certainly not saying that. But don't be surprised if your ex does come back after years. And so today, we've got an email coaching with somebody that had that happen. And now she's not so sure what to do, because when somebody disappears or breaks up with you and leaves your life and they come back, you got to be cautious, because you don't know what their agenda is.
And you also don't know what they have been doing within those years.
Great point.
You know, we always hope that people are progressing behind the scenes. That's always our hope. But we don't know if that's true or not. Some people do stay stagnant for a very long time.
Yes, that's very true. Or get worse.
Yeah.
Right? Some people, their life has spiraled even worse. They've not done anything to improve themselves, and then they come back into your life, and it's like a whirlwind, because it takes you almost back to the time of the breakup.
Right.
Okay? So this couple is in their 50s. Let's say they're both in their 50s. Okay? So they met in the summer of 2018. She says, I met him on Bumble when he temporarily moved to my state with his sister and his parents. He moved from another part of the country where he had been working on his career. He was moving to the East Coast to be closer to his day job. I think it was more about the career he had been pursuing. I'm trying to keep it vague. He has never had a long-term relationship before. He would complain that he had no appetite and he had lost weight. His dog helped him manage stress and anxiety. So already we could see that there are some serious concerns going on with this guy.
Yeah, there's already some things that, he can work on. We see stress, anxiety, depression.
Yeah, I think the depression is going on here because he has no appetite and worried about his career. So when people are struggling in that many areas of their life, they're going to really struggle to be able to do any kind of long-term commitment to somebody else. They get overwhelmed.
Right, and we're also seeing moves and transitions here, which for some people, that adjustment period can also, bring up a lot of different emotions. It can be hard to settle into a new place.
All right, so through the fall and the holidays of 2018, he had moved to an area fairly close to her, and they saw each other fairly regularly during this time. She said, I grew to like him a lot. Come early next year, I learned some things about him. His family was pressuring him to return to the state they lived. His life revolved around his dog. He's a homebody and a stoner. He would not want to talk on the phone or FaceTime in between visits. That looks a little sketchy. You don't want to talk to me. You don't want to do any FaceTimes. Like, don't you miss me? It hurts. He would only text or instant message me. In April of 2019, he said, I need to buy a house, but I don't want to plan the house purchase around you. That hurts. Mm-hmm. Even if he didn't mean to say it in a hurtful way, it's going to hurt. Mm-hmm. We only see each other every couple of months. I calmly asked if he had feelings for me, and he said he did. That he loved being with me. Always had an awesome time when together and was very attracted to me. I made it clear that I wanted a long-term relationship. He said, I don't want to lose you. We resolved to take things slowly. He was very sweet and loving afterwards. Also acknowledged his lack of relationship experience. He said he wanted to do a better job of seeing me more often.
Okay.
So some good stuff going on there, right? You know, that he loves her. He's very attracted to her. Did he say he loved her? Oh, he loved being with her. Mm-hmm. Very attracted to her. Had a good time with her. Was being sweet, caring. So remember, that is April. So this is May. We spent the weekend at a resort. He said he knew I was more emotionally ready than he was, and reiterated how much he liked me. He said he was thinking about asking me to move in with him.
Oh.
Yeah, last month, or right? It was last month where he mentioned the house?
Yeah, and he had said that he was not going to buy the house revolving around her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So now, quickly changing mixed messages here.
And this is hard because he is making a decision for himself. I'm assuming that his name will be on that deed and his name alone.
Yeah.
And also considering how this partner will fit in. You know, this is something that if she is going to move in, he might want to consider making this a joint decision, or at least having a little bit of influence from her. You know, at least hearing her piece, her thoughts on his purchase, where it should be, what kind of a place, if this is something that he is serious about, and also his goals are aligned with hers as far as having a long-term relationship.
Exactly. So he's kind of giving mixed messages here. Mm-hmm. He said he was thinking about asking me to move in with him. The weekend ended well, but he did not call me for days after that. So I thought he probably scared himself.
Probably.
All of a sudden he brings it up, and then you start to think, oh, wow, he really wants this. And then you go along with it, and then they freak themselves out. Mm-hmm. This happens all the time, especially with avoidance, right? In June, he was rather distant during the visit. He cavalierly says, oh, I don't have any plans to visit anytime soon. I will come home for some family event, but that job has asked me to come back, and I need to be available for that. This is the last time we will see each other romantically. We will continue as friends. I'm attached to you, but just wanted to have some fun.
Oof, okay.
This is really dismissive.
Yeah.
And he's really kind of minimizing all the things he had told her. Mm-hmm. All right, let's talk about this real quick. Let's go over these. Because he had said, I'm thinking about moving in with you. I love spending time with you. This is great. Then, 3 months later, he says out of nowhere, this is the last time we will see each other romantically. Mm-hmm. That's really hurtful to say to somebody. We'll continue as friends, as if he gets to dictate how this is going to go. Mm-hmm. And I'm attached to you, but just wanted to have some fun.
No, that's not what she was under the impression of from the beginning. She had clearly stated that she was interested in a long-term relationship. So I am upset for her.
Yes, that was not fair, and it was really cruel and dismissive of him to do that to her.
And it also makes me think, did he say those things because he knew that that's what she wanted to hear? It makes me wonder if there was some manipulation there, because he started out the prior conversation by saying, I'm not making this house decision based off of our relationship, and then ended that same conversation by saying, oh, I love you so much. Then the very next conversation was, I want you to move in.
Yeah.
So, you know, if I'm seeing inconsistency in what a person is telling me, it does make me question, okay, what is it that you really want, and why are you struggling to, be firm about what your decision is here?
Yep. So it was really mean for him to do to her.
Mm-hmm.
She said, I said no to friendship. Good for her. He said he isn't lovable, marriage is stupid, and he will die single. Mm-hmm. He said we're not compatible because I love to go out and he does not. All right, so we know that's another BS excuse that avoidants typically give.
And it sounds pretty dismal. Him saying that he isn't lovable, marriage is stupid, and he will die single. That is a lot to unpack there,
Yep.
If I was his therapist, I would be talking about each one of those statements, and trying to dig deeper, because I don't think it's just about, him thinking, oh, marriage is stupid, it's arbitrary. Normally people have reasonings as to why they have certain values and certain beliefs. I would be very curious to hear what experiences led him to believe those things.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bit more here. I told him he just didn't understand how mature relationships worked. I drove back crying all the way home. I never called him again. December of 2023. So what is this? How many years later? Is this 3 years later or 4 years?
Oh, you're right.
4.
Yeah.
That was June of 2019, and this is December of 23.
Wow.
So what is that? 3.5 years?
Yeah, something like more than that.
Is it 4.5 years or 3.5?
2019, 2020, 23. Like, yeah, 4.
Wow.
4.5.
She says, I was blown away. He told me his dog died. We exchanged a few messages. I haven't brought up a breakup. He says he's moving back to where his parents live because they're getting older. But I'm not sure if I even like him anymore. It's a long time. Mm-hmm. She must have some kind of feelings, though, because she's still not sure.
Mm-hmm.
How do I find out what he wants from me and if he's addressed his attachment/relationship issues? Good question.
That is a good question.
Well, you don't know his agenda. You don't know what he wants. You don't know why he reached out. He may have been thinking about you for a while. The holidays are here. Maybe he got sentimental. Maybe he just wanted to see how life was, and he'll disappear again.
Yeah.
So you don't want to get your hopes up, because you don't know what his agenda is yet. And you need to find that out.
And I will say, for a lot of people who do have emotional struggles, sometimes they will be deeply connected to someone, self-sabotage it, be in a very depressed and alone state, and then romanticize the relationship that they sabotaged.
Yep.
It's
the Phantom X.
Right. And so we know that this is a person who is prone to anxiety and depression. A lot of the population struggles with this, but we are seeing that the way it's manifesting in the relationship has been something that has brought a lot of pain and hurt to you, and it's something that I would consider.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's got to go really slow, because she really doesn't know anything at this point. Maybe he just got out of a relationship. Who knows what's happening in his life? It's been a really long time. And she needs to find that out, but slowly. You cannot look eager for this guy. You can't let somebody ghost you, come back 4 years later, and then you're eager to talk to them again like they didn't hurt you so badly years beforehand.
Right.
He needs to show some ownership of what happened, some responsibility for what he did to her, and some compassion and empathy in what he did and why she shouldn't trust him again. Because we don't even know what his agenda is.
Right, and I think she has a right to be hesitant here. I definitely would be if I were her too.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like his story changed throughout the relationship.
That's right.
She, like I had said, told him very clearly what her intentions were, to later find out that he was just trying to have fun.
Yep.
Which to me is extremely disrespectful.
Yeah, it's really hurtful.
And really unethical,
Yeah.
So I would be looking to see his actions and seeing if they line up with his words. I would be thinking, this is a person who has been very inconsistent with me in the past with words.
Yeah.
And so I would need some more solid evidence to know that this time it's going to be different, or to see that change has happened.
Yeah. You don't know what his mental health state is at all. And you've got to find out. I would look to see, what is his plan for moving? Does he have a new job that he can take care of himself? Is he still depressed? Is he still struggling with his career? You want to see that he has taken active steps to make his life better, and that it will be better. And you also want to slowly find out what his mental health is like. You know, is he struggling with anxiety and depression still? Has he had any professional help? You know, we don't have any indication anywhere that he's had any help or he's any better.
He mentioned that the dog died, so that makes me wonder, is this an emotional crutch type of situation? You know, was she close to the dog and he wanted to just update her? I would be really curious to see where he's at.
I think one thing I would say to him is, you know, the last time we talked, you kind of disappeared on me. Can you tell me what happened? Help me understand what happened. Like an open-ended question like that. And then let him talk. And then as you get information, hopefully he's transparent about it, then you might say something like, well, you also seemed really anxious and depressed at that time. Have you gotten any professional help over the years for that? I hope he says yes. I don't think he's gonna. I have a feeling he's gonna say no. But that would give you some insight into how much help he's gotten or how much work he's done on himself.
Right.
Which is what she wants to know.
And when you are dealing with a partner who's unstructured like this, don't be afraid to provide some of that structure. You know, in the past, he was very wishy-washy with certain things. Don't be afraid to be that person to say, listen, I'm going to need some form of something here to help me understand what's going on, to ask those bold questions just like the ones that you had asked.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people can be timid with certain things. They don't want to scare off someone, which, you know, rightfully so. Use common sense in your wording and how you approach someone, but also think about, is there certain pieces of information that I need to know to feel more comfortable moving forward with this relationship?
Yeah, I wouldn't take this particular guy very seriously until I saw some actions and heard some words that lined up with, you know, growth and ownership and acting like a real adult, because he did not the first time around. And the way he was so dismissive and said, oh, I was just having some fun, like that was really mean. He told her he was thinking about living with her. You don't tell somebody that and then 2 months later say, oh, you know, I was just trying to have fun.
And I would be wondering too if he has gone through a recent separation or something like that.
That's what I mentioned if he had another breakup or something.
Yeah.
So, you know, take it slow in trying to get the information out of him, but make him work to get you back. Make him show you with his words and his actions that he's going to be motivated, that he's empathetic to what he did and how he hurt you in the past, and that he's going to do things differently. But be careful.
Yeah, nobody wants to be plan B. Nobody wants to be a second option. So make sure that, you know, your needs are also voiced. What your values are in a relationship are also voiced. I think you did a great job of doing that before. Let's see what happens here. And I would also say, be looking for that consistency, because somebody can show you a version of themselves for a couple months.
Yes.
They can say what they think you want to hear and then be a completely different person in a relationship when it is more serious, when there is attachment.
That's a very good point. All right, so hopefully this one's been helpful to you. Of course, you can get our help personally on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Skype. Coach Victoria is also available for Skype coaching.
I'm here whenever you'd like to chat.
Just click on her name at the top of the website to schedule with her. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon.